When Barron Trump became the target of a joke, Melania's bold move sparked a cultural reckoning. The night seemed like any other in the world of late-night television. The audience at the studio in Burbank, California, laughed along as the host, renowned for his biting wit and politically charged humor, cracked jokes at the expense of public figures. But then, in an unexpected turn, he turned his attention to Barron Trump, the youngest son of the former First Lady and president at the time. But then, in an unexpected twist, his attention shifted to Barron Trump, the youngest son of the former First Lady and president at the time. The joke was brief, sharp, and unmistakably directed at the teenager. The audience's reaction was mixed. Some chuckled nervously, while others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. This wasn't just a lighthearted remark, it was a pointed jab that hit deeper, targeting a child who had largely stayed out of the public eye. Within hours, the clip's Twitter and Instagram timelines were flooded with memes and reactions, as Trump family supporters and critics of the host weighed in. Some called the joke tasteless and unnecessary, while others defended it as just part of comedy. News outlets quickly picked up the story, analyzing every aspect and reigniting debates about the boundaries of humor in Palm Beach. Melania Trump watched the clip in disbelief. Her son had always been her priority, and she had worked tirelessly to shield him from the chaos of public life. The remark wasn't just an insult to Barron, it was a personal blow to her as a mother. She knew she couldn't let this pass. Her instincts as a parent took over, and she began drafting a statement to address the situation. But words alone wouldn't suffice this time. As the backlash intensified, Melania made a decision that would send shockwaves through the media. She would take legal action. What she didn't anticipate, however, was that her choice would spark a battle far greater than she imagined. The following morning, her team released a carefully crafted statement to the press. It was firm, yet composed, condemning the host comments as inappropriate and harmful, while the statement resonated with her supporters. It wasn't enough to quell the growing controversy. Melania wasn't just upset. She was determined after years of enduring public scrutiny and ridicule. This attack on her son felt deeply personal. She resolved to fight back. Melania turned to one of the nation's top defamation attorneys, a fierce litigator with a reputation for high-profile victories. Together, they filed a lawsuit against the host in the network, citing defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The legal filing painted a vivid picture. The comment, disguised as humor, had crossed a line. This was no longer a matter of free speech. It was about protecting a child's right to privacy and dignity. The lawsuit itself became a media spectacle. News anchors debated its legitimacy, questioning whether it was a genuine effort to seek justice or a strategic ploy to regain relevance. Supporters praised Melania for her bravery, calling her a protective mother, standing up for her child. Critics, on the other hand, accused her of leveraging the lawsuit as a publicity stunt. Barron, meanwhile, remained out of the public eye. Friends close to the family described him as a quiet teenager who avoided the media frenzy surrounding his family. Melania's actions, however, sent a clear message. This wasn't about her reputation, it was about defending her son. The lawsuit had immediate consequences. Sponsors began distancing themselves from the late-night show, wary of the negative attention. The host, known for his bold demeanor, appeared noticeably subdued in subsequent broadcasts. Still, he refused to back down, asserting his right to free speech and framing the lawsuit as an attack on comedy itself. As the story continued to grow, it sparked a nationwide conversation. News channels dedicated hours to heated panel discussions, and social media remained ablaze with opinions from all sides. The legal battle was far from over, but one thing was clear. The case had set the stage for a larger cultural debate about the ethics of humor. The protection of privacy and the boundaries of public discourse. Online forums were abuzz with debates, and podcasts dissected the situation from every angle. The country seemed divided on one side. Many applauded Melania Trump for taking a stand against what they viewed as bullying, disguised as humor. Parents, in particular, rallied behind her, flooding social media with supportive messages. Protecting our kids should never be a debate. One viral post declared, accompanied by an image of Barron during his father's presidency. On the other side, backlash was fierce. Comedians and talk show hosts defended their peer, warning that the lawsuit set a dangerous precedent for creative freedom. Some argued that public figures and their families were fair. Ideologies the prosecution called Barron's former teachers as witnesses who spoke about his quiet nature and the toll the media spotlight had taken on him. Meanwhile, the defense brought in comedian who passionately argued that satire was an essential tool for social commentary. Public interest in the trial reached a fever pitch. Every moment, from Melania's composed demeanor to the host's fiery retorts, was analyzed across media platforms. Late-night shows avoided jokes about the trial entirely, fearing they might become the next targets of public outrage. Then, on what seemed like an ordinary day in court, the prosecution introduced a surprise witness that turned the case and public opinion on its head. William Carter, a former production assistant for the late-night show, took the stand. Calm and determined, Carter revealed shocking evidence about the network's role in the controversy. From his briefcase, Carter produced internal emails, scripts, and communications, showing that the joke about Barron had not been an impromptu remark. Instead, it had been deliberately planned, debated, and approved by senior exec Ives at the network. One email displayed for the courtroom read, "It'll get people talking. Controversy sells." The revelation sent ripples through the courtroom and beyond, shifting attention from the host to the corporate culture that enabled the incident outside the courthouse. The revelations caused a media storm. Headlines highlighted the network's toxic environment, and several executives were placed on leave pending investigations. The host, once celebrated for his daring comedy, now found himself isolated as his employers distanced themselves as the trial approached its conclusion. Public opinion had shifted dramatically, but with so much at stake, the final verdict promised to carry implications far beyond the courtroom. The case had grown into a cultural milestone, forcing society to confront the limits of humor, the ethics of entertainment, and the right to personal dignity. Melania's lawyer delivered a compelling statement, advocating not just for her client, but for every family that had been thrust into the public spotlight without their consent. "This isn't about silencing comedy," she stated firmly. "It's about accountability. It's about recognizing that our words, especially those amplified to millions, carry consequences." The defense, though battered, made a final plea. They warned that a ruling against the host could create a chilling effect on comedians everywhere. "Do we draw the line?" they asked. "At what point does protecting feelings begin to infringe on the freedom to challenge and provoke?" After hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. The host was found liable for defamation, and the network was ordered to pay substantial damages for fostering a culture of sensationalism. However, the judge clarified that the ruling was not an attack on free speech, but a recognition that humor should not come at the expense of a child's dignity. The verdict sent shockwaves through the media industry. For Melania, it was a bittersweet victory. She had defended her son and won, but the ordeal had taken its toll. In a brief statement to the press, she expressed hope that the case would remind people to approach public discourse with more care and respect for the host. The fallout was significant. Sponsors pulled out, his network distanced itself, and his show was put on indefinite hiatus. Yet the cast sparked important conversations nationwide about the boundaries of comedy, the responsibilities of public figures, and the ethics of media sensationalism in the aftermath. New initiatives were launched to address toxic practices in entertainment. Comedians began reevaluating their material networks, implemented stricter oversight, and audiences became more mindful of the content they supported through it all. One lesson stood out: while free speech is a right, respect and empathy are responsibilities we all share. As the dust settled, the nation reflected on the deeper implications of the trial. Discussions moved beyond the specifics of the case to broader cultural questions. Where is the line between humor and harm? How do we balance the right to free speech with the need for accountability? For many parents, Melania's fight was a wake-up call. It reminded them of the importance of standing up for their children in an increasingly digital, unforgiving world. One mother in Des Moines shared her thoughts in a viral video. "If someone with Melania Trump's platform can face this struggle, what does that mean for the rest of us?" This trial wasn't just about Barron. It was about all of our kids for the entertainment industry. The verdict served as a reckoning. Networks and production companies began reevaluating their approach to comedy, recognizing that cheap shots and controversy-driven content came at a cost. There was a renewed focus on creating humor that challenged norms without demeaning individuals on the streets. In homes and across classrooms, people reflected on the ripple effects of Tia.